Uh,
Okay, greetings one and all, and welcome to the first of our insights into the Roots 40 Plus program. Now, I'm here with Norman Rubba Stephenson as one of our elder artists, lead movers and shakers in the business, who is a mentor and a well-known tutor, one of my first teachers and my mentor, who has been practicing dance of the African diaspora in the UK for over 40 years. Yeah, so welcome, Rubba.
Welcome, Kabibi, my good friend. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here and involved in this project.
Yeah, give thanks. I mean, what it is, Rubba is also on the planning committee, but we'll leave that till the end. What I think is that you've got a really interesting history in the UK and in the performing arts. And I just wanted to get an insight for this particular social media campaign. So I've just got a few questions to ask you, and to ask, first of all, how did you get involved in African dance?
Well, my journey, my route into dance was a different journey from most dancers in the UK, in that I did not attend any dance establishment to get training or gaining any certificates. So my career basically began on the streets when living in St. Paul's, Bristol, known as the ghetto area. Yeah, I was living there from the age of about, 16, yeah? After I was disrespected my parents a bit, to tell the truth. I was given shelter by some Rastafarians who had a sound system, and it's through them playing music and being part of that sound system that the dancer in me came out. Yeah, I began dancing in those parties like I was crazy, every day, every night, if possible. And all I was interested in basically was dance. And I think this was recognized by a lot of people in the community, and especially a gentleman called Barry Anderson, who was actually starting up a group at the time. He was planning a group, and I think he saw me as a candidate for a workshop that was being held in a community center known as Inkworks that time, but now they call it Kuumba Center. But it's a local center that is I'm dedicated to doing things for people in St. Paul's, yeah, in those days. So I went there quite reluctantly because he wanted me to come and, try some African dance, and I was not in the space. My headspace was not there for that at all. Yeah, and in fact, all I wanted to do was just see if I could get something for the day, or they call it hustle. But I sat down there and watching this group who were called Steel and Skin from London. They've been led by the pioneer behind Barry, I tell the truth, Peter Blackman, yeah, based in London, and through his affiliation with Barry, they came to Bristol to teach us. And I even reluctantly got up to dance. I just didn't want to dance. I didn't, but I saw something that they'd done and it inspired me. So I got up and I danced, and it was the change of my life, It changed my life totally. And within 3 years, I think we were the best group of its kind in the UK. And it was made up of mostly children that were from around that area, or teenagers, sorry, from around that area of St. Paul's, yeah. It went on further from there. Changed my whole life.
Brilliant. I mean, can you tell me a little bit about what you do now, kind of thing? What's where has that led you to today? What are you doing at the moment?
It's been a journey, and like I say, it's got to be short because really, it's really been a lot of journey. In this, and the main thing has been staying loyal to it and sticking with it, because it is a kind of like a journey full of sacrifices, and you have to know that you love something to give something up, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So where I am these days now, it takes me to places that I never thought I would ever go, never dreamed I'd ever be. It made me perform in places that I never thought black dance myself would perform in. And it's given me, most of all, a confidence in myself that I never knew that I'd ever have and achieve through my experience, you know, through my not learning anything in school, through me being on the street, and through me even being deaf, you know,
That's right. You have
I got
hearing impairment. Yes.
Yeah. So all this, I've overcome through the dance and the music of our African dance.
Yeah. So tell us what when you say overcome, like this journey that you've been on, and I don't want to give away too much. This is like an advert for the main story, the main documentary. So this is why I don't want to give away too much. But your journey, just give me a quick kind of overview. So from Ekome, you started Ekome in what year?
1976, sorry, 1976, after I came out of prison. After I came out of my last prison sentence.
Right. And then you were in Adzido Pan-African Dance Ensemble after that in London. I joined
them. Ekome went for 8 years, and I joined Adzido 1984-85 season,
Right.
Where George Dukuno, who was a great inspiration for Ekome, but when the company folded, then he started Adzido in London, and obviously invited those people who he thought could come and help him with Adzido. So end up being founder member for both companies, basically.
Yeah, amazing.
So that took me to Adzido, and obviously Adzido went on for 11 beautiful years, and there's a lot of stories inside that, obviously.
Yes.
But that only helped me to improve more and widen my knowledge. Ekome with Ghana dance in particular, but Adzido went the full continent.
That's right. That's right.
From there, 1996, because even throughout Ekome and throughout Adzido, I always maintained my evening class. It was just something that I felt I had to do to improve me. I didn't know why I was doing it at the time, but
not only
doing it.
Yeah, sorry to cut you. I need to remind you certain things because you've got such a wide history that where I met you, Blaggy and Charles came to Nottingham, which is where we were living at the time. And you came up there and you were teaching us up there. So you were actually traveling the country, working with different dance groups as well.
Yes, which is probably, Ekome was a fantastic company. And I don't mind talking about it now, in a sense. I thought it'd be for the longer document, tell the truth. But no, Ekome, and it was kind of like unwittingly, I would say. But for some reason, we end up teaching a lot of groups across the country, initiating and starting them and making them get their own fundings and do their own things in their own community. And Ekome had branches in Reading, Nottingham yourself, Derby, Cardiff, Gloucester. There's more. I can't believe how much we've done. And we were all, we were all each week going to each department to kind of like teach the dances, you know, that we were being taught, or that we picked up, or that we learned. But it was really, if that was happening now, I tell you, we don't realize what we were doing at the time. Or if Gary did, well, I didn't.
It was such a huge influence on the sector, on people up and down the country. I mean, we used to travel down to Bristol to the St. Paul's Festival to watch you guys perform. You know what I mean? From Nottingham, we'd make these day trips. We'd just go down to the St. Paul's Festival to see you all perform. And that was like, wow, you know, big thing. Yeah. So what advice would you give to a young aspiring artist coming up now? You know, like the younger you, what you know now that you didn't know then?
Well, based upon my experience, I would say love what you do when you find it and dedicate yourself, to learning the skills, yeah, of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take what you've learned, yeah, and make it your own, yeah, put your own personality into it. That's what happens when you learn something and you love it and you love sharing it. Then you develop a way of putting across where everybody says, that's how Simon does it, that's how Robert does it, and etc. And then you're taking the form in a different direction creatively as well for yourself and all that. So that simply dedicating yourself leads to a lot of development within yourself and the form that you've learned.
Yeah.
And obviously don't give up when there's any setbacks, because applying for fundings or not being accepted for this can just change your career, and your direction. So I wish I've seen happening for a lot of my colleagues, from the beginning, or even to colleagues that's been doing dance for years, but then they fall by the wayside, because of those setbacks. Whatever you learn, though, like I say, you must develop to your own, techniques in terms of performing and creating.
Yeah,
obviously get the right education, because right education to me is what we call in some quarters wrong education. But we need to learn those educational skills of this particular country, and learn to use that in our art form that we fall in love with, because I felt that slowed me down, that held me back in a lot of ways, apart from my lack of confidence in my disabilities and whatnot. The education part of it, because obviously I didn't study or for any GCSEs or anything like that in school. So I think that will help a lot if you really, give yourself to getting the right education. And you've got to be in a position where you can plan and think for yourself, that's what you're aiming for.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I mean, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it there, because this was a nice taster of what is to come with the full documentary. We definitely want to record your history from the first day, your memories, your favorite moments, most memorable moments, the worst moments, the best moments, the touring, and any kind of favorite countries that you went to, the teaching aspect, what you're doing now in terms of the work that you're doing across Bristol and so on. But we're leaving that to a more juicier time and trying to get the audience, pull the audience in. So thank you very much for your time. And I'm going to post this on social media as soon as I possibly can. Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah, well, thank you for this. I mean, it is very good for people like ourselves and who's been in the art form to, be at least recognized for what we contributed, and because it has been a tremendous amount, and I really feel that the way African dance is in this country now would not be, in the shape it is without people like Barry, George, and all those other people that were involved.
And yourself,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bless you.